The Panama Canal is one of the most extraordinary engineering achievements of the early 20th century. One of the busiest shipping junctions in the world and one of the most strategic. This series of locks helps link together waterways that are quite narrow with the lakes in the interior of Panama. And that involves raising huge ships like this up to 80 feet or more. It's all done through a system of gates and locks which are exactly the right width for ships to come through with just a few inches to spare. Most ships in the world today can just about squeeze through these tiny locks, but it's a tight process. And increasingly, there are ships which will not manage it. For this reason, the government has decided to rebuild these locks, creating a third set which will be much wider, allowing the super tankers of the future to come through here. The whole project is going to cost many billions of dollars. These vehicles on rails are in fact tugs, and they run alongside the lock on both sides, pulling the ships up and down. Just opening the gates once means flooding tens of millions of gallons of water through the system and out to the sea. And that means having water supplies which are good up country. This canal is underpinning some of the economic growth of Panama. Over 10,000 of these ships come through the canal every year in one direction or another. Just maneuvering these vast ships is an immense undertaking, and not without risk, with immense precision needed at every stage. Cargoes are often hazardous. Indeed, this particular vessel is a huge tanker. 6 tugs have been used in total, attached to these railway lines. 2 on the front each side, and then another 1 at each side at the end. You can just imagine the environmental catastrophe should a ship of this size hit something and explode. The ship looks to me like it's full of liquid gas, or it could be oil. But one way or another, they're not taking any chances. And the gates of the huge lock close. The ship is now rising with 3 million gallons a minute of water flowing in to this chamber which has been sealed at both ends. This massive hydraulic system is acting as a lift at zero cost, with all the power being provided by nature from rainwater flowing down the river and into this lock. As it happens, you can see that this ship is almost empty, judging by the water line. When the ship is full, those lower markings are underwater. And these markings on the side of the ship tell us exactly how much weight there is on board. Because the more the weight, the lower the ship rides, and more of these markers are under the water line. The Americans handed back control of the Panama Canal to the Panamanian people at the end of the 1990s. But there's no doubt, if there was tension in this region, the United States will be back here quite quickly.